cafe these days.
Yeah, that meeting ran over longer than what I thought it was gonna be. All right, where were we?
I wrote down a couple things I want to talk about. I really, what's it?
Let's go ahead and go over what you wanted to talk about today.
Okay. Like, what else? Yeah, I wrote down two things.
Let's talk about your trip.
Read it word for word. This is what I wrote.
Okay.
I was like, nobody should be in a situation such as I am in and get fed bad information and lies that are reckless on the behalf of the people in charge. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm basically lied to every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it varies from day to day on what reality is. And, you know, people are given earpieces and like and it's inside my head. But like I'm kinda like, what are the earpieces for? Because if you would let people tell it the reason why they move the way they move and say the things they say, is because it's a conspiracy. And basically they covertly commit obstruction. And which brings me to my next question, like, what are the earpieces for? Because I'm a little confused because, like, it seems like people won't say what's going on. They won't, and they can say what's going on because, like, the whole treason thing. When I was at Riverside Behavioral Health, he mumbled it under his breath. The magistrate did, but he still said it clear enough for me to hear. So if they can tell me I'm guilty of treason, and which I'm not, by the way, then they can say anything they want to say. You know, and if they choose not to say something, or if people in the community choose not to say something, it's because it's to their disadvantage. You know, as long I can come here every Monday and say the truth, speak fact from fact. I can go to the police department. I can go to Chesapeake to the FBI building, speak fact for fact, tell people exactly what happened. And as long as they don't acknowledge that they have earpieces and I'm getting my mind read, then we can keep playing this make-believe game and nobody have to take accountability. Because all they gotta do is say, well, he's mentally ill. But we all know that's not true. You know, and it's problematic. For me, it's not in my best interest. And then, you know, back to like the whole treason thing, like, um, the judge who's mumbled it under his breath, he passed away because I tried to reach out to the court system and talk to him about it because I was gonna ask him what did I allegedly do that was treasonous, because I didn't do anything that was treasonous, you know. But he passed away, and then when I was living in Gloucester, my caseworker, her name was Alta Bell. She, I was calling the FBI, was speaking to the FBI and telling them everything that was going on. You know, even when I said last week, you know, when I was saying how I felt like 9/11 was an inside job. You know, I told the FBI that plenty of times in 2014. I was 16 years old when 9/11 happened. I don't know no terrorists, got nothing to do with any of that. And at the end of the day, who knows if it was an inside job? I'm not the only one that say that. Michael Moore, yeah, one of Michael Moore that made a documentary about it. You know, Fahrenheit 9/11. So there's plenty of people that think that. It's always gonna be people that think that. Just like it's always gonna be people that think JFK was assassinated by the mob and the CIA. You know, so people are entitled to their opinions. But yeah, like I was speaking to the FBI, and they first, well, I don't know which order things fell in place or what I'm about to say, but the lady I spoke with, her name was Miss Thomas or Miss Thompson, something like that. And the only reason I knew her name because they tend not to give their names. My caseworker reached out to me and said, the FBI got this paperwork that they want you to sign. And I'm like, what's the paperwork? She never showed me the paperwork. But I was kind of like, I don't want to sign anything unless people tell me what's going on. And then the whole conversation kind of fell apart from there because won't nobody gonna tell me what was going on, so I wasn't gonna sign anything. And this is when the FBI was still in Norfolk, and like I used to call them so much. I know that I got their number memorized by heart. It's 757-455-0100. And my caseworker never showed me the paper, and she didn't tell me what was going on, so I didn't sign it. So fast forward to today, I reached out to that CSP a few years back in Gloucester, and come to find out, my caseworker passed away. Allegedly, her boyfriend killed her in a domestic dispute. So I'm like, is that really? Is that real? In a sense of, now I don't think it's no large conspiracy there, but I think the possible reality is with the judge, who was an older gentleman, so he could have had passed away. But like with my caseworker, how I'm looking at it is, are the people behind this medicine faking people's death so I can't backtrack to things that are detrimental to what they got going on? Because if I could have reached Alta if she was still alive, she could tell me who the person she spoke with, whether it was Thomas or Thompson, the lady name. She could show me the paperwork, and I could bring that to show it to you, to show you, hey, he's not making this up, because if he was paranoid schizophrenic, then why would the FBI want him to sign documentation? I could also bring that same paperwork to my psychiatric doctor, so they can be like, well, if the FBI want him to sign something, well, he ain't as paranoid as we trying to make him out to be. But it kind of seemed like, I can't do that now because she passed away. And domestic, dispute with her boyfriend. He killed her. And I feel like, is that a fake situation? Like a lot of these things are, such as like Bernie Mac, and it's crazy. Like, and like being in this situation, I've been on this medicine for 18 years. So people are gonna pass away from natural cause, whether it's age, accidents, etc., etc. I ain't saying the world stopped once I got put in this situation. People are gonna pass away, but I think it's crazy when I'm writing a song and I'm thinking like, God, when I was in elementary school, I was in accelerated classes. And I'm a horrible speller. Where did I go wrong? And then I go to sleep after writing a song, wake up, then the elementary school gets shot up. And another example, the very next morning, like I can think something, and within 8 hours, like something that happened where someone will pass away, and it's kind of make me think, it's too close for comfort. The timing of everything. So, like with Bernie Mac, like that was an incident where, it was embarrassment on my behalf about personal things and women, and I go to sleep, wake up the next morning, Bernie Mac passes away. And like Mac, like street terminology for calling someone a Mac, right? Like a player, someone that get girls. So the next morning, after I was embarrassed, the night before, I wake up, Bernie Mac passes away. And just many of those examples, and it doesn't help the case. Well, I ain't gonna say it doesn't help, but then when I look at the movie The Dictator and see how it was a comedy, you ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
It was a comedy with Sacha Baron or something like that. I can't remember his name. I know his first name is Sasha. I think he's a foreign dude. Well, he's a comedian, and he made this movie about being a dictator in like I want to say maybe a oil rich nation, and he would do like Saddamish stuff where he would kill his own people for nothing. Like if you serving him ice cream and you drop a marshmallow from the ice cream on the floor, he would be like, and then they would pretend to like kill him. Well, comes to find out in that movie, he get overthrown and end up in New York City, and all the people that he sentenced to death for stupid reasons won't even dead. They was actually all all their deaths was faked, and they ended up in New York City. So everybody that he allegedly sentenced to death, he ran into them in New York City. So that doesn't help. It does help in the sense of it kind of make me think. Well, it's not paranoia with the Sandy Hooks and the Bernie Macs, you know, and that they really are faking people deaths. But the crazy thing I feel about that is they shouldn't do stuff like that, because if you wanted me to be mentally stable and credible when I speak, then you should have factual events, because that's not paying homage to me. Faking someone death and making me think I'm paranoid and confuse me, that's not something where it's beneficial to my mental health or the situation in general. Because what happens if something actually real is happening on the outside of things, and I'm treating it as a joke because of all the fake stuff you did? So it's just, and not just that. Like if you look at you know things that happen, like for example, let's use Bernie Mac for example. If I didn't know no better and spoke on a situation like Bernie Mac, and let's say everybody know he didn't really pass away, and I'm speaking as if he did, and I wish I could think of another example of an incident where I spoke on something that wasn't reality. But anyway, I ain't gonna use Bernie Mac. I'm gonna stop using Bernie Mac because I don't want to get things confused or misconstrued. I just say this, when I speak on things that are to my understanding, based upon stuff I'm told, and it's not accurate, and people know it's not accurate, but I think it's real, that's another example of destroying my credibility. You know, along with faking people deaths. You know, you it's kind of like destroying your reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I speak on something that's not reality, and I'm thinking it's reality, and I'm telling it to someone else, no matter who the person is, you know what they're gonna say? They say, "Poor Terrell, he don't know what's going on." But that's anything but true, because I was in this situation from the beginning. I seen what happened from the beginning up until now, and there's nothing that anyone can tell me that I haven't thought of already. Now, putting it together and making sense of thought from reality, that's a different story. But if anything someone can say, I'm like, oh yeah, I thought that. I couldn't confirm it, but yeah, I thought that previously. I've had that came across, you know, and I done thought about it, but I couldn't confirm it. So if I can't confirm it, I can't add value to it and make moves and decisions based upon it. So do the government not want me to be credible? That's the moral of the story, is I don't think they do. They'll they'll love an instance when I go out and speak on something based upon me being mind control and it's not reality. Like the Boston bomb, that was another thing where it was kind of like the Sandy Hook. And the crazy thing about that, after the Boston bombing, and they didn't have the guys caught. They was looking for one of them. I think he was on a run or a manhunt or something.
Mm-hmm.
I called a hotline that they put on the TV, and the number won't even a working number. You know, so that makes me question: well, the Boston bombing, the Boston Marathon bombing wasn't real with the two young dudes. You know, which happened around what 2013, somewhere in that time. I don't know, but it was like made me think. Well, shit, if they not even answering the hotline, then how serious are they taking the manhunt and the threat? You know, so that's another example of something I thought that wasn't real. But that could have really happened. And then let's say I go out here and tell someone the Boston bombing was fake, and let's say it really happened, people be like, poor Terrell, he don't know what's going on. He's just as dazed and confused. So that's why they shouldn't do things like that. You know, like fake people's death because it ain't paying homage to me. If anything, it confused me and destroyed my credibility when I speak on things. And I think that's what they aiming for. You know, and I done expressed this for years now, and they still ain't changed. You know, from doing that. So I guess they want to destroy my credibility. You know, they want to make the facts a needle in a haystack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everybody assume they know what's going on, but do they really? You know, I think like for example, I don't know if people familiar with the chop up. You know, that was something I saw when I was first put on the medicine called the chop up, which the chop up mean we're gonna break things down and move them around. And sure enough, that's what it looks like to me. Because it seemed like the community of Williamsburg, my hometown in Virginia, all of them take and verse in the media and the rappers on the other side, the media, the rappers, and my father allegedly. It seemed like each side take turns playing good cop, bad cop. You know, and then they talk about, oh, this is just the beginning. You're gonna be on this medicine for you're not even halfway done. What do you think that translates to when they say it's just the beginning, you're not even halfway done? Because I can tell you what it looks like to me.
What it look like to you?
It looked like murder. How would it look to you if someone was on a medicine that was slowly deteriorating their health, and then the people that got him on it don't want to take him off of it, and the medicine is going to cause him to need a liver or kidneys? That's murder. You know, and a rapper said that. A rapper called Millie's. He signed to Jadakiss, white guy. He was rapping, and he said it. You know, in a song. You know, that it's murder. You know, it really is. If I die on this medicine, it's murder. There's no other way to look at it.
Who was the rapper?
Millie's, Millys. It's murder. There's no other way to look at it. It ain't patriotic. I'm not a soldier fighting for my country. I'm someone being forced to take a mind-reading medicine against my free will. And the government got all these kind of tricks that they use to try to keep me at fault for being on the medicine. There's always been a reason to why I was taking this medicine. Before they tried to associate me with terrorism, they were saying it was stuff that I said in a rap song to make them want to get inside my head to see if I knew something about a crime syndicate. Like, it's always been an excuse to why I'm on this medicine. And it's never been because, hey, we wanted to do this to him. We planned this this since he was 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's never them saying that. One minute it's because of a girl overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't finish saying speaking on that last week. You know, let me get that real quick. You know, the girl overseas, they try to act like she has something to do with the treat why they say I'm guilty of treason. But you know that's crazy because like I wrote down the treason reasons. Drugs, but then they come up with Coke Zero, referring to that they sold zero Coke or drugs. And then the whole Bush and Bin Laden thing. And when I used to believe it was an inside job, they used to threaten my life and then say, "Are you willing to die for what you believe?" And then I'm like, well, Jennifer Gardner on Alias, you know, looking at that show, whatever that was, um, and I was like, well, I felt like on the show Alias, y'all was admitting to it being an inside job. And they said, as far as, I was like, and you accusing me of treason? And I'm like, well, are you accusing Jennifer Gardner of treason?
You said alias or alien?
Alias.
Okay.
Alias. I'm like, are you accusing Jennifer Gardner of treason? And you know what they said? No, they protect their members. You know, so I'm like, where's you getting this from that I committed treason? And the thing about it, when I told someone, a family member, what I allegedly thought they had told me about 9/11 being an inside job, they'd already accused me of treason prior to that. You know, so it wasn't because of that. You know, and that's not treason, anyways. Repeating what I thought was someone told me. You know, and I'm like, I have nothing to do with any of this. And if that was the case where it was an inside job, why are you telling me? Are you telling me because I'm a member, allegedly, and you want me to know everything that the cult is doing? Or are you telling me because you're trying to set me up to take the fall for everything? Because I'm not a member of anything and don't want to be. And it looks like to me that they are doing these things to try to set me up to take the fall. But like the guy in that is one of the guys in my housing program. He said to me, he said a long time ago, he said it's like what, um, 2018. He was like, Terrell, look out for yourself, because when it's all said and done, they're gonna be trying to blame you for everything. You know, and he won't deny that he said it. You know, he kind of like me in that regard of, you know, speak his mind and be blunt. You know, because you know, you know, continuing this medicine for alleged crimes is just stupid. You know, put me on trial. Put me on trial. But I never see a trial because the reality is, with all the stuff that I done seen and can say, they rather just let the medicine run its course and let the medicine do the job that they don't want to do with a bullet. You know, so that's how that's gonna play out. But and like I was saying with the girl, Polish girl, you know, Jermaine Dupri said in the song, "Effing with a laptop, I make him do it, do it." You know, cause she owed me money, in which I was okay with. I owe her money, in which we spoke before this incident even started, which she was okay with. But I'm still gonna make that right because we, last I talked, we was on good terms. And when I was first put on this medicine, she was in Maryland on a work visa, and I reached out to her friend, her best friend. Her best friend gave me her number, and I called her. She was in Maryland, and she wanted me to come see her. You know, but I crashed my car coming from work, so I didn't have transportation to come see her. But she wanted me to come see her, and this is why, in the midst of all of this going on, you know, and I didn't have transportation to go see her in Maryland, but she wanted me to come see her. So I don't think she's mad at me for anything. I don't think any of the stuff that these folks are pushing is a reality, you know. And just so happened that she was working at a Wawa because we talked. She was working at a Wawa, and mind you, Ti had put in the magazine that I had AIDS in a newborn baby, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, and I'm like, is he talking about the Polish chick? I got a baby by her and allegedly gave her a STD because you know it won't even 9 months, and that's how long you carry a baby before she was back in the country. And I don't think she would have had the baby and left it in Poland and came here to work after the baby was probably, if it was born, would have been only been like 2 or 3 weeks, and who would leave Poland to come to America to have a baby, on foreign land and not be with your family in Poland. So that don't make sense. And she was too friendly for someone that Ti is trying to say I gave an STD to. So that's a lie. But they had her in Maryland working at the Wawa, and she was friendly and wanted me to come see her. And not just that, she was only working at the Wawa because of what Ti said. Wawa, and that for some reason, one of the, how can I put this? One of the understandings in the sense of like, one of the strategies I say, okay, code, one of the code word, well, I wouldn't say code. How can I put it? Like, one of the makeshift forms of communication, that's how I can put it, was Wawa. And that's like a baby talk, like goo goo gaga Wawa. Like how, baby, you talk to an infant baby. So that's why she was working at Wawa, because of the so-called baby, in which she don't have a baby. If I had a baby by her, that baby would probably be almost 18 now. I don't think I have an 18-year-old child, 17-year-old child, you know, and like Wawa, that's like babies talk, like Google, you know what I mean? You ever heard that? Like you hear Google Gaga like talking baby talk, and like I associated Wawa with baby talk, in which I don't know anybody who actually used that, but that's how my mind took it. It reminded me of Wawa, like baby talk. So that's what I associate with it, and it was kind of a form of communication, of indirect communication, because no one's speaking directly. So she's working at the Wawa, and if she was a spy or someone that committed treason and I got caught up in that, why is the American government bringing her back on a working visa and then incorporating her in this game by acknowledging what T.I. said and have her working at Wawa? So how am I committing treason? If anything, if she's a spy and committed treason and all that, and what she didn't, she's just a regular person just like I am. It just seems like the government is just making up stuff and they winging it pretty much. They just playing things by they just winging everything and kind of like, and when they wing everything, who always end up being the face of the blame? Me. And like for example, when I was first put on this medicine, within a month, the CIA director stepped down, and I think his name is Peter Goss or something like that. I can't remember. Something Goss or Voss. Yeah, but he stepped down, and I'm like, just like when I was first put on this medicine, I was in my childhood church, and there was a white lady looked like an agent sitting up on the choir, and just her whole disposition, she's sitting there like all militant and kind of as if it stood out. You could tell she wasn't a regular person. It stood out. Like how you see them agents act, at least in the movies. That's how she came across. Like cold, calculated, and cutthroat. That's how she came across. And she's sitting up there next to the choir. And this is not a race thing. It could have been a black person with that disposition. It would have stuck out too. Like, and she's sitting up there with the choir and the preacher talking, and I'm not knowing I'm getting my mind read at the time, and his sermon, was kind of like he was inside my head talking to me, and a lot of things was triggering me. And mind you, I'm not even knowing I was on the medicine, but I'm not knowing it's reading my mind at the time.
Okay.
You know, and so it's just it's just a crazy situation, and it's illegal, and so all the reasons, the treason, I didn't commit treason. Everything that ever since I've been on this medicine, I've been monitored by the government. Been in the government, been 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 so from day one, even before the medicine, everything has been done on the government's watch, and on the government's time. Everything is nothing I did that was out of the reach of the government. I can't even play my video game without avatars being triggers, and playing the game, and people pausing the game when I think a certain thing, so I don't even know how that works. I'm playing someone digitally online. They could be anywhere in the country, but nah, they inside my head. It seems like, but I guess with my ISP, um, and what you call it, the internet service. What is it called when you? I know it, but I can't think of it. My web address, cause like when you got a internet, you got a distinct web address that's specific to your house. Like with your internet service provider, you have your Wi-Fi, your router, but you got a series of numbers that identifies where the internet is going to. So like if, let's say for example, if someone um, make make a if someone was to threaten a president over the internet, you're not on the actual phone. They would trace God, what is it called? They would trace your web address. I forgot what it's called, but it would lead to the address in the ISP, which is the service provider, and they would know where the house was at. That's how they would find it. Whereas with a phone call, they can trace the number, and just like you can trace a phone call, you can trace someone hotspot. Well, not hotspot, the Wi-Fi, signal. So, and all that's registered. So, like I guess that's how they do that with the video game, and they just got people sitting around waiting for me to get online and play the game you know, that triggers stuff. And the thing with PlayStation 5, it got a built-in mic on the controller, so you can actually communicate to the person you're playing
Hmm.
while you're playing it in real time. Like if you was playing PlayStation, I was playing PlayStation. If both our mics is on, and I sit and I shoot a shot and I score over you, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I could talk to you and tell you how good of a shot I just made against you, and you can hear it in real time. But usually when I play, I cut my mic off. But and that's the general census. If you playing a complete stranger, everybody cut. It's like everybody cut their mic off. You're not playing one of your friends, you cut your mic off. It's like an unwritten rule. Everybody cut their mic off. They're not playing someone that they know.
Hmm.
Because who want to talk to a complete stranger? You just want to play the game. But that's what I do, and they typically do that. But when I think certain things, their mic will come on, then it go off. And I don't like that because I actually bought the online service to kind of get away from the YouTubes and the news and all the negativity. I wanted to play the game, but they won't allow me to do anything without their involvement. Everything they do, everything I do, they make sure to involve them in it. But then when something go wrong, they all blame it on me. I'm like, you won't even let me.
You want to stop now?
Yeah, we can stop that. I'm like, you won't even let me do anything without your involvement. So where do we start looking at this as if the things that happen are their fault. Because if everything happened under their eye, then where do they take accountability? You know, they need to do things to where take preventative measures, you know, and make sure everybody is safe. In which, as far as me, I'm no threat to no one or myself. But